Hey, I'm Randy. Today we're going to be talking exhaust. So you want to add a little bit of pep to your ride. Maybe it's a car, maybe it's a truck, maybe it's old, maybe it's new. You really don't know how aggressive you want to go. You can't just go to a muffler shop and say, put on 20 different mufflers. Let's see how loud we can make this thing go where, it's a little peppy, but not overly aggressive. Maybe you don't want your neighbors 5 houses down to hear you leave every morning. I know I don't. I know my wife doesn't want to be woken up every morning when I fire up to leave at 6 a.m. So you begin forum hunting. What's my best muffler option? And everybody has a different answer because everybody's thoughts are completely different on what their own tastes are for their own lifestyles. So how do you get the best of both worlds? Well, today we're going to be talking about exhaust cutouts. In particular, we're going to be working with my 2014 F150. It's got a 5-liter Ford V8 Coyote motor. I wanted a little bit extra over what was stock. Super quiet from the factory. Not into quiet. I like a little something. So I began forum hunting, looking for the best exhaust options, reading reviews, and everything kept pointing in a different direction. Some people said something was too aggressive. Some people said, not enough. So I wanted the best of both worlds. So I'm going to show you what I did, taking a few small pieces. I spent about $75 personally. Your costs are going to vary depending on what route you go. So before we fully get into it, I'm going to tell you what I came to find out that I wanted to do with my particular truck. I wanted to just get rid of the factory muffler. So keep the cats, keep the resonator, just delete the muffler. So I read a bunch of people say that it makes a nice, good raspy tone, a little bit deeper, not really too much resonation, but a lot of people did say as the downfall, it is quite loud, especially at higher RPMs and cold starts in the morning. So basically what I'm doing by adding in the cutout is I'm keeping the cat, keeping the resonator, deleting out the muffler. Okay, so we'll see right as soon as we get under there. Okay, here's the style that I used. It's a butterfly style exhaust cutout. I really like these. The only bad thing about them is here in the Rust Belt especially, these pins on either side, they like to freeze up and corrode because it's basically steel into aluminum. We all know what happens with that when salt and other chemicals and elements are introduced, especially water. So these are pretty simple. You pretty much can switch the power from one side to the other and it will cause it to open and close. Right now, I'm going to just use my jump box, kick it over. It's going to close it. Okay, so all I have to do now is just check this, the other direction, and it's full open. So I got a whole box of these, probably like 3 or 4 of these from a swap meet, like 40 bucks. If you want to buy these brand new, you can. They're not terrible. The brands I have here are race ready. They're pretty good. I use the newest looking style that was also the most, least corroded, I guess. So I took them apart, cleaned them up, and put some anti-seize on them. And then I came into here. Here is my dirty F150. You can see where I just dremeled and installed this switch. I got it for about 25 bucks from Summit Racing, right next to the brake lever. It looks fairly factory. The black of the switch matches. So that was what I did for there. For that, I routed my wiring up underneath the firewall, out over the hood and to the underside. Okay, so essentially, there's a nice, wonderful little grommet right underneath there. You see it in the very back, behind the master cylinder. I brought wiring in through there. You can see right top, right where I had that green wire because, well, that's honest to God what I had. Brought the wiring up here to the battery. Put myself a nice little connection. These wiring diagrams are all with that nice piece from Summit Racing. Then I took the wiring down inside the engine bay, going underneath on the frame towards the exhaust. Next up, underneath. Got Wally sweeping on his own accord. Alright, here's what we got. Ooh, some water. Alright, well, there's condensation. There's the front of the car. Here we come back to my very, very, very rusty exhaust. You can see the resonator here. Further on up, we still have our cat in place. Makes everything nice. There's our factory muffler. And you can see my now obviously condensation-wise leaking welds. It was a heck of a time to get this to take. My exhaust is just really rusty after 9 years, so it'll work. We got our Y pipe in place. You can see that. Have our cutout. Have that one in place. It's a nice looking one. It's a race ready brand. This Y pipe was about $45 with the clamps on Summit's website. You can probably Amazon or whatever else. I'm probably going to paint this because winter's coming. So I know that's how it's going to go. And there's that butterfly flap I was talking about before. It opens and closes. This has worked really well. Bam clamp's leaking too. So I'll tighten this up. I've had this on for about 3 months. So there's a good underside look. Alright, here we go with the sound clip. You're going to lose my voice here in a minute. You're going to notice some different change of scenery and clothes because, well, you know, technical difficulties. So here we go. I'm going to start off open, go back and forth between open and close. There's that an idle. Open. Want to go ahead and close. So there you can hear and see it functioning yourself. You want a cool, cheap way to go back and forth between the best of both worlds. Try this out. Thanks for watching.